You said the shots came from the back. Who shot Tupac?
The keeper for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat for him.
September 7th, 1996, Las Vegas. Thousands of boxing fans poured out of the MGM Grand after watching Mike Tyson knock out Bruce Seldon. It was supposed to be another unforgettable night in sports. Instead, it became one of the darkest nights in music history. Among the crowd was the biggest rapper on the planet, Tupac Shakur. Just a few hours later, he would be fighting for his life inside a black BMW after a gunman opened fire. For nearly 3 decades, his murder became one of the world's most famous unsolved cases. People blamed rival rappers, street gangs, the music industry, even the government. Hundreds of theories appeared online, books were written, documentaries were made, but despite all the speculation, no one was held criminally responsible for Tupac's murder for almost 30 years. Then, everything changed. Police arrested Duane Keffe D Davis, alleging that he played a key role in organizing the attack that ended Tupac's life. Now, after decades of mystery, the case is finally being argued inside a courtroom. But how did investigators reopen a case that many believed would never be solved? To understand that, we have to go back to the beginning. By 1996, Tupac Shakur wasn't just a rapper. He had become one of the biggest celebrities in the world. His albums sold millions of copies. His movies were successful. Every interview made headlines. Every song sparked conversation. He wasn't simply making music, he was shaping an entire generation. But behind the fame, his life had become increasingly dangerous. After joining Death Row Records, Tupac found himself at the center of one of hip-hop's most bitter rivalries, the East Coast versus the West Coast. The feud dominated television, radio stations, magazines, and the streets. Every diss track raised the tension. Every public appearance attracted more attention. Friends worried the conflict had gone too far. Sadly, they were right. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac traveled to Las Vegas with Death Row Records co-founder Suge Knight. Their plan was simple: watch the Mike Tyson fight, then head to Club 662 later that night. Nothing seemed unusual. The atmosphere inside the MGM Grand was electric. Fans celebrated Tyson's victory. Celebrities filled the arena. No one imagined they were witnessing Tupac's final public appearance. After the fight, Tupac and his entourage walked through the hotel lobby. Then, security cameras captured an incident that investigators would later consider one of the most important moments in the entire case. A fight suddenly broke out. The man being attacked was Orlando Anderson, a member of the Southside Compton Crips. The confrontation lasted less than a minute. Security quickly stepped in. Most people thought it was over, but according to investigators, those few seconds may have triggered everything that happened later that night. After leaving the MGM Grand, Tupac climbed into a black BMW with Suge Knight. They headed toward Club 662. The streets of Las Vegas were crowded. Fans recognized the car. Some smiled, some waved. Traffic slowed as they approached an intersection. Everything appeared completely normal until 11:15 p.m. A white Cadillac pulled up beside the BMW. Without warning, gunfire exploded. Multiple shots tore through the BMW. Glass shattered. People nearby immediately ducked for cover. Witnesses later described hearing a rapid burst of gunfire, followed by complete chaos. Tupac was struck multiple times, including in the chest. Suge Knight was injured by bullet fragments, but managed to keep control of the vehicle long enough to move away from the scene. Within seconds, the white Cadillac disappeared into the Las Vegas night. Police officers and paramedics rushed to the intersection. Tupac was placed into an ambulance and taken to the University Medical Center. Doctors fought to save his life. He underwent multiple surgeries. For 6 days, fans around the world waited for good news. Television stations reported every update. Outside the hospital, supporters gathered with candles, flowers, and prayers. Many believed Tupac would survive. But on September 13th, 1996, those hopes came to an end. Tupac Shakur died at just 25 years old. The news shocked the world. Hip-hop had lost one of its biggest stars, but almost immediately, another question became even louder. Who killed Tupac? The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police launched an investigation. Detectives interviewed witnesses, collected physical evidence, and followed every lead they could find. But solving the case proved incredibly difficult. Many witnesses refused to cooperate. Others claimed they hadn't seen anything.
For record mogul Suge Knight, who was driving the car Tupac was in the night he was shot. Wright has denied any involvement and has said it bothers me because I was in charge of possibly protecting this young man.
Gang-related violence made people afraid to speak. As months turned into years, the investigation slowly went cold. Meanwhile, rumors spread everywhere. Some people blamed the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Others believed it was connected to gang retaliation. New conspiracy theories appeared almost every year. Books, television specials, and documentaries all claimed to have the answer, but none of them resulted in criminal charges. For nearly 3 decades, the murder remained officially unsolved. Then, one name kept appearing again and again: Duane Keffe D. Davis. Unlike many people connected to the case, Keffe D. spoke publicly. He gave interviews.
He said the shots came from the back. Who shot Tupac?
To keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro.
Appeared in documentaries, and later published a memoir discussing the events surrounding Tupac's murder.
I shouldn't have said nothing. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have said nothing. And I'm innocent, man. Being held against my will. I'm supposed to be out there enjoying my twilight. God got my back, and God will see me through this.
His public statements attracted enormous attention. Some people believed he was finally revealing the truth. Others believed he was exaggerating his role for publicity. But investigators didn't simply ignore those statements. They compared them with years of evidence, old witness interviews, phone records, and information collected during the original investigation. Eventually, detectives believed they had enough evidence to move forward. In 2023, Las Vegas police searched Keffe D's home. Investigators collected documents, computers, cell phones, and other potential evidence connected to the case. Just a few months later, a Clark County grand jury returned an indictment. For the first time in nearly 30 years, someone was officially charged in connection with Tupac Shakur's murder. Prosecutors allege that Duane Keffe D. Davis helped orchestrate the attack that led to Tupac Shakur's death. They do not claim he was the gunman. Instead, they argue he played a leadership role in planning the shooting. Keffe D. has denied the allegations. He pleaded not guilty. His legal team argues that many of his public statements, including comments made during interviews and in his memoir, were exaggerated for entertainment and profit and should not be treated as literal confessions. As the case moved toward trial, another major legal battle began. Prosecutors asked the court to allow Keffe D's own interviews and published memoir to be presented as evidence. The defense strongly objected. They argued those statements were unreliable, taken out of context, and made years after the crime. The judge ultimately ruled that many of those statements could be presented to the jury. That decision became one of the most important moments in the case. Now, for the first time in nearly 3 decades, a jury may hear evidence connected to one of the most famous unsolved murders in music history. Whether that evidence will be enough to secure a conviction remains to be seen, because in a courtroom, public opinion means nothing. Only the evidence matters. No matter what the final verdict is, this trial has already changed the story of Tupac's murder forever. For years, people believed the case would never reach a courtroom. Today, that is no longer true. But even if this trial answers some questions, others may remain forever. Who fired the fatal shots? Did everyone involved ever face justice? Or are there still pieces of the story that the world may never know? Nearly 30 years after his death, Tupac's music continues to inspire millions. His voice, his message, and his legacy remain as powerful as ever. Whether this trial ends with a conviction, an acquittal, or even more unanswered questions, one thing is certain. Tupac Shakur's story didn't end on September 13th, 1996. It continues every time someone listens to his music, every time new evidence emerges, and every time the world asks the same question: what really happened that night in Las Vegas? If you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to subscribe for more true stories from the world of hip-hop, and let us know in the comments. Do you believe this trial will finally reveal the complete truth, or do you think some secrets about Tupac's murder will remain buried forever? Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next documentary.